We've got some calls, Kirsty.
We do. First, we have Carol on line 1.
Morning, Carol. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Did you watch any of these documentaries about... Well, they weren't really about the leaders' wives, but they featured in them.
Well, I have sort of, read in the newspapers about them.
And are you interested?
Well, I do feel it's nice to be able to hear something about the leaders' wives and the Prime Minister's wives, but I do feel that maybe once or twice is enough, but I think now maybe they're just going a little bit over the top because it's diverting attention away from the real things that people need to hear about.
Why do you like to hear a little bit, though, Carol? Why are you interested at all?
I think it just, gives us an idea of what their wives are like. But once we've seen and heard about it a couple of times, I think really that is enough, and we ought to be hearing more about the real policies of what they have to offer.
Has it altered...
I do feel it's diverting attention away from the real things that people want to hear from these politicians.
Has it altered your opinion at all of any of the three main party leaders, knowing their wives or getting to know their wives a little bit?
Not really, no. I do feel that they all seem to be talking about the same thing, and what people really need to be hearing about is things like immigration and the economics of the country, which doesn't seem to be too good at the moment. And I think people want to hear more about that, as well as hearing about their wives and girlfriends or whatever. And I think it's just diverting attention away from the real issues, and it makes you wonder, why are they doing this?
Well, Carol, thanks very much. I mean, I think you echo the views of the panel here, and you wonder actually that it might backfire. Do people feel that they're taken for mugs, really? That they're being, just their votes being too easily bought.
It's a sanitised version of them. It is propaganda at the end of the day, and you're not going to really know anything that they don't want you to know.
Isn't it great?
Exactly what
Maybe we're not as stupid as they think we are.
Except that it's the media who's asking for all these interviews,
It is, because we live in this celeb-driven culture now. We want to know
They're
more
asking,
about
but that
people.
doesn't mean that they have to say
gossip.
yes. Do they? I mean,
No, but it's very, you can see them think it's very dangerous to say no. If the other party are playing the wife card, then we should be playing the wife card as well.
I think it's more about they want to win, so they're going to do whatever it takes to win. Not we're just going to get our policies out there and let the public decide, which is what I thought elections were about. Getting your message across and let the public decide. They are trying to decide for themselves by saying, if we do this, we will win.
Yeah, well...
regardless of what the public
Carol
thinks.
wasn't impressed. What's anyone else thinking, Kirsty?
Next, we have Lucy on line 2.
Morning, Lucy. How are you?
Good morning, Kay. Good morning, panel.
Good morning. You sound very bright and breezy this morning, Lucy.
Oh, I am. Thank you, Kay. Your hair's looking very nice too.
Oh, thank you.
Can I just say that obviously the wives of the leaders are entitled to give their opinion on things because this is a democracy. And naturally, if they wish to speak to the papers or television, we can't stop them. However, I feel that the majority of most voters at the moment, with some of the expensive scandals and the politicians at the moment, we want to know what the main parties intend doing about serious things like the economy, their expenses, reform, crime, terrorism. And I mean, this now is getting ridiculous. They're talking about what skirts they're wearing. Now, this is irrelevant. Most politicians at the moment, we want to know, all of them, not this mudslinging. Sorry, Kay.
Lucy, do you think that the politicians are orchestrating this to try and distract us?
They're trying to smokescreen themselves, Kay, away from the expensive scandal. Because people are very, very angry about the amount they've been spending on moats and curtains and things like that. And hard-working people pay a lot of tax, work long hours, get up very early in the morning, like my husband and other people who work, are annoyed at people being on the gravy train and taking us for idiots, and we are not.
Well, absolutely not. And I tell you what, it's great to have this reaction because I think it's time that they woke up and did treat us like, sensible, intelligent adults rather than thinking we'll fall for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and also as well, as someone who does vote, I get extremely angry about people who do not vote and then complain about the government. I say to every woman listening, whether you like the parties or not, make sure you use your vote because women died to give it to us.
Absolutely. Lucy, thank you very much. Can I ask you one question before you go? What did you have for your breakfast? Because I want to have some too.
Well, I had PG Tips. A PG Tips cup. PG Tips, Kay.
What was it?
A cup of PG Tips tea.
Right, that's what I'm having tomorrow. Thank you, Lucy. That works wonders, that stuff, doesn't it?
Well, just a relating point. I think that, it's the World Cup this year. Fabio Capello's our manager. No one really cares what his wife thinks about football. I just think that politicians are there to do a job, get on with it, do it. The rest of it is just...
Is there also, a kind of female agenda here in that if we go back to the heady days of Mrs. Thatcher and Dennis, yes, with his little hello, good morning, how are you? But, he wasn't scrutinised in that way, and he deliberately, I think, I'm joking about that. In history, we'll say that Dennis Thatcher was actually a very astute and clever man. But he kept very much under the radar. Is it the old woman thing? Look at the shot of Samantha Cameron on the front of the Mail today. I don't know if you can we see it here? We don't
it's
a bit tacky,
those,
isn't it?
Do we? Somebody's found them and released them. I don't think it's actually her that released
No, I'm not even saying that it is. But,
you open up the
why
box.
do we need to see that? Why do we need to see that?
Well, it's and that's what annoys me. So, to me, it's the press that think we want to see it, and I think they've got us wrong.
But, is it an anti-female agenda? In some ways. She's a very intelligent woman. She holds down a very good job, and whatever you think of his political policies or hers, she's a 38-year-old woman with kids and a responsible job. Why do we need to see pictures of something that was taken 12 years ago for a
It's
mate?
demeaning as well, isn't it? It's like a beauty contest for the best wife.
Once you open yourself up to the press like that, we all know that you're not in control of it. You're not in control of it now. They control what happens and what's out there, and this is what's happening.
I think it was a bid to somehow I think they thought that if they showed off the wife, then it wouldn't sort of, engage the female voting audience. And I think it completely missed the point there. I think, look, here you go, here's my wife, and we've got these kind of positive attitudes about women working and la-di-da-di-da and childcare. And I think actually they just completely missed.
Well, you hear Lucy
point.
there, and let's hope that she's very representative, but, passionate and kind of angry about being treated in that way, but also suspecting a real level of cynicism. Whether it's the media that's driving this or actually, the leaders themselves.
Well, it'll be
do they actually think that we're stupid enough to be distracted by it? Is it a cynical policy,
do we say, all right, well, if that's the game you're going to play, then the role of Prime Minister's wife, First Lady, is a real role, and let's audition them for that too. Because if that's what Michelle Obama did right, because she was doing... She just didn't come across as somebody who was being patronised, did she?
Yeah.
She came across as somebody who was also fighting for a role. And maybe we've got to go down that route.
Well, if Simon Cowell's watching, I think his little ears will be going. He'll be thinking, oh, there's something in this. This is good. Can you imagine? Right.